Shalom. This is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am, Hebrew nations. An organization researches the whereabouts of the lost ten tribes. We prove the lost ten tribes today are to be found amongst Western nations. And amongst these Western nations, the USA in our time is especially important because a good proportion, possibly up to 50% or even more of the descendants of lost ten tribes today are now to be found amongst the population of the USA. And we are going through each state of the USA and examining different place names, especially those biblical connotations, and we are discussing them and tentatively, very tentatively suggesting certain conclusions or looking for certain patterns. But we are not taking this, we are not saying that this is how things are necessarily. We are making suggestions. And this is, to a degree, this type of research is speculation. We are speculating. And some of our research is speculation. But concerning proofs, concerning biblical proofs as to where the lost ten tribes are, and proofs that they are now to be found amongst Western nations, we have absolute proof of it. We have evidence of it. We have hard, concrete facts, and in addition to biblical verses that especially say that lost ten tribes are now to be found amongst Western peoples. And this present occupation of ours, or this present subject of ours, this present thing, what we are now discussing about, is addition. It adds a point of interest, and it's interesting in its own right. And we bring up different points that are worth considering. So we hope you enjoy this very brief little talk of ours, because it is important. We're now about to consider the state of Wyoming. Population of Wyoming is a little bit more than 500,000 people. It's not very populous. It is the least most populous state in the USA. It is the state with the least number of people, and it has the second lowest population density of all the USA states. And Wyoming, we don't know much about it, but we see it seems to consist mostly of mountains, mountainous country, and open ranges. There's a reasonably stable economy with agriculture, grazing, mineral wealth, and some tourism. And the descendants of the inhabitants of Wyoming, according to the statistics that we came across, are 26% of German origin from Germany, English 16%, Irish 13%, American, those who describe themselves as American, 6 or 7%. Is possibly Scottish-Irish. Very often Scotch-Irish describe themselves as American. Norwegian about 5%, Swedish 3.5%. And this is what we have. This is what there is. We have explained several times that those Americans, those inhabitants of the USA whose ancestors came from Germany, are Israelites, even though most of the present-day inhabitants of Germany are not. And they divided themselves off from the other Germans. They'd always been separate from them. They'd more or less existed alongside them, but on the whole kept to themselves, or were maintained as different social groups. And at those times the situation was a bit difficult than it is at present. Even though, now at present, people do keep to themselves. People, to some degree, more or less, only intermarry or marry within their own circles, and then it was even more so. Then people only married within their own little group, their own little village, and often they had very little to do with even with neighbouring villages alongside them. So, and this is all known. These all facts discussed in demographic studies and genealogical records, and so on. And it's worth reminding us that the Israelites came from all over Europe. They came to the USA, and very often, even though they were not necessarily from areas in which Israelites were concentrated, they were nevertheless in many cases descended from Israelites. They separated themselves all from their neighbours. Very often they'd lived separately from their neighbours in different groups of their own. At all events, it was a homecoming instinct that drove them to go to the USA and link up with their fellow Israelites and to identify with them. We have books on this. We discuss this in our book Joseph, and also in our book Ephraim. In other books of ours, and God willing, we will discuss it further elsewhere. The different counties of Wyoming have they have biblical place names. Include Albany in the southeast. Albany is probably a name derived from Albion or Alban. Albion is a name for Britain. Alban means Scotland. The root means white. Alban means white, so it is said, but it also derives from the word Lebanon. Lebanon is to the north of the land of Israel. In ancient times it was part of the tribe of Asher. It belonged to the tribe of Asher, and also as did part of it also belonged to the tribe of Manasseh. That was northern Manasseh was alongside Asher. In Bighorn County, in the north center of Wyoming, we have the big place called Bighorn that reminds us of the bull, which is symbol of Ephraim. In the northeast, we have Campbell County, and a place called Adon. Adon in Hebrew means Lord. And Joseph, the forefather of Ephraim and Manasseh, he was referred to his brothers as Adoni, or Lord of the land, meaning Egypt. So Adon was a name, a nickname or a term applied to Joseph. In the south center of Wyoming we have Carbon County, and there we have a place called Leo. Leo means lion. A lion is found in the symbolism of several Israelite tribes. Judah is referred to as a lion cub, and a young lion. Dan is referred to as a lion leaping from Bashan, and Gad too is also referred to as a lion. We also have a place called Milo. Milo is a biblical term. It's connected to Jerusalem. In Hebrew, Milo means filling up. It's mentioned in the Bible several times. This place, Milo, is part of Jerusalem. See 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 9 and other places. And what exactly the intention by Milo is not agreed upon by all the commentators. But we take the simple meaning to be that it was a place, an area of Jerusalem that had been built up by filling up the ground. Jerusalem is built on hills, and the country, the basic ground level can be quite rugged. So they filled it up. They filled it up and they made a filling and covered the area and made a little suburb attached to Jerusalem, and it was called Milo, being filled up. That's how we understand it to be. And we are certain that the actual real meaning is not very far away from that. It is close to the reality. And also we have Converse County in Wyoming, in the east center, a place called Ammon. Ammon was a country in neighboring Israel. It was to the east of Israel. Naamah, who became the mother of King Rehoboam. Naamah was one of the wives, one of the many wives of King Solomon. She was the mother of King Rehoboam, or Rehoboam is in English, of Judah, and Naamah came from Ammon. Was permitted to take women and convert them from Moab and from Ammon, but it was permitted to take females. It was forbidden to accept males from those countries. We also have Esterbrook in Converse County. It's named after Esther. Esther was from the tribe of Benjamin. We have Oren, a place named Oren, and also Oren Junction. This name Oren sounds Hebrew. It could be derived from the Hebrew word Or, meaning light. We have Oriel and Oriah, different names with this root in it. We also have the word Oren. Oren is a very common name in Israel. Means pine tree. And it actually suits Wyoming. I imagine there are a lot of pine trees in that area. We have another place called Orpha. Orpha is named in the book of Ruth. She's mentioned in the book of Ruth, or Ruth as it's pronounced in Hebrew. Ruth was from Moab, and she had married the son of Naomi. And Naomi had two sons. One of them married Ruth, the other married Orpha. Both of the sons, Machlon and Helion, died. They died and left Ruth and Orpha widows. Naomi was also Naomi's the father of the husbands. The husband of Ruth and Orpha. In other words, the father, the husband of Naomi, also died, and Naomi was left as a widow. She had lost her husband and her two sons, and she was left with the widows of her two sons, and she decided to return to her homeland, return to Brit-Am in Judah. And Orpah and Ruth accompanied her part of the way, and when they reached the border, she tried to persuade her daughters-in-law to turn back, to go back, that they had no future, and there's reason for them to come after her, to go to a strange land. And Orpah did turn back. Orpah turned back with Ruth. They insisted on continuing with Naomi, and she continued with Naomi. And they went to Bethlehem, and in Bethlehem, Ruth met Boaz, and she married him, and from that union comes King David and the future Messiah. And Orpah was the one who turned back, and Orpah, in Hebrew, the word Orpah is derived from Orif. Orif means the back of the neck, the nape here. When you turn your back on someone, you turn to them your Orif. So, in effect, Orpah had turned her back on redemption. She had not insisted on going along with Naomi in the same way as Ruth had, and she lost her chance. And the name Orpah is derived from Orif. She had turned her Orif, and not necessarily derived. In Hebrew, it may be understood to have been derived. In native language, it may have had another meaning. Doesn't really matter. According to biblical commentators, the name given to a person has a significance, and sometimes it can be interpreted one way or interpreted another. We still have free choice, but the options open to us, or our future destiny, is often prefigured, pre-adumbrated in fancy language, foreshadowed, as if to say, in the names given to us, or the names given to people in history. An example of this, we have Eisenhower. Remember, Eisenhower is the president of the USA. He was the president of the USA at the time that Stalin was the ruler over Russia during the Cold War. And the name Eisenhower means steel cutter. And the name steel, Stalin means steel. In other words, Eisenhower was there to cut into Stalin. That was his destiny. And they had these two names, and you often find this. This is not an uncommon phenomenon. It is interesting. And also in our studies we mention these, in our biblical studies mainly, but also elsewhere. It's worth noting. We have going on to considering our examination of biblical place names in Wyoming. We have in the northeast Crook County, and then we have a place called Aladdin. Aladdin is the name of a boy, an Arab boy, made famous by a popular fairy tale in 1001 Nights. And it's not exactly a biblical subject, but at all events it shows a line of thought reaching back to the east, reaching back to that area. We have a place named in Crook County. We have a place named Alba. I don't know what Alba means in English, or why it gave it, where the name came from. But in Hebrew, Alba is a name meaning the white froth of waves. So that's interesting. We have a Bula. We have a place named Bula in Crook County, and Bula is a name applied to Israel in the final redemption. Literally means be husbanded. In other words, having had intercourse with one's husband. A woman who's had intercourse with her husband is called Bula. This is what will happen. This is what the land of Israel will be connected, will be remarried, as if to say, to the Almighty, and it also reflects on the Israelite and Jewish peoples together, will come together and be reunited with the God of Israel. And this is discussed in Isaiah, book of Isaiah 62 verse 4, and this is the name given to the land of Israel in the final redemption, and it is connected to the whole peoples of Israel when they will be redeemed. We are in Crook Country. We also have a place called Devil's Tower, the Tower of the Devil. And they still tells us that there's a darker side of existence the Bible also talks about. We have a place in Crook County called Mona. Mona, we looked it up on the web, and it said that Mona is a name said to be of Irish origin. It's assumedly short for Madonna, and this may be short, so could be that is an origin of the name Mona, Madonna, but we also find this name used in modern Israel. I couldn't trace its origin or its present day interpretation, but perhaps there is another explanation for this name. It's a girl's name. We also have in the southeast of Wyoming, we have a Goshen County. Goshen County is named after Goshen in Egypt. Goshen was a place in Egypt on the border east of the Nile Delta, or including the Nile Delta, but to the east of the Nile. It was a very fertile area, and the Israelites were settled there when they came into Egypt. And because Joseph, who was the de facto ruler of Egypt, he brought it about that Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, would grant them that region to dwell in. Later on, Goshen belonged to Judah, belonged to the tribe of Judah. In the center we have Natrona County. Natrona County, we have Allendale, a place called Allendale that reminds us of Elon, which was a clan name in Zebulon. Alon or Elon also means oak tree. We have Evansville in Natrona County, and Evansville could be derived from several biblical names. Even or Avon is a Hebrew word. Brit-Am in the land of Benjamin, the house of Avon in Benjamin, and we also have Avon, Beth-Markah in Naphtali. And Avon can mean a plain, it can mean a plain area, or can mean a stone. There's several possible meanings, and there are several place names that this word Evansville reminds us of. In Park County in the northwest of Wyoming, we have Devil's Den, once again the darker side of existence. And Sublette County, the west center, we have Daniel, a place called Daniel, another place called Daniel Junction. Daniel was the name of one of the sons of King David. And later there was a prophet, Daniel in the lion's den. We all know the story. Daniel in the lion's den, who was who prophesied to Nebuchadnezzar in the exile of the Jewish people to Babylon. And also in this Sublette County, we have a place called Temple Creek, Summer Home area, and this reminds us of the temple in Jerusalem. In Sweetwater County in the southwest, we have a place named Eden. Eden was the Garden of Eden, but it was also the name of an area in northern Syria, present-day northern Syria, which in biblical times it belonged to the tribe of Manasseh or the tribe of Asher, or both of them was in a border region between these two tribes. We also, in Sweetwater County, we have Jamestown. The name James is a form of Jacob. It's derived from Jacob. Jacob was the forefather of the Israelites. Jacob is another name for Israel. Israel was named Jacob before he was named Israel. He was born as Jacob. In the northwest we have Teton County. Teton County, where we have Jack Pine. Jack is short for Jacob, another name for Israel. As we said, we also have Jackson. Jackson means son of Jack. Jack is short for Jacob. In the southwest we have Uinta County. I hope that is how they pronounce it. In the southwest, Uinta County. And we have Evanston, like Evansville, like we said, could come from several biblical names of Beth-Am in Benjamin, Avon, Beth-Markah in Naphtali. We also have a place called Uri. Uri is short for Uriel. Uriel means God is my light. It's the name of an angel in rabbinical tradition. But we also have Uriah. The name Uriah means the same as Uriel. Uri could be short for Uriel or for Uriah. We had Uriah the Hittite, who had an encounter with King David, and Bathsheba, the whole incident, the whole thing is related to us in the Bible. We also had Uriah, the son of Shemaiah, from Yair, as we are told in Jeremiah, verse 26:2, chapter 26, verse 2. Uriah, son of Shemaiah, who was a prophet, and mentioned by Jeremiah, and he came from Yair, which was in Judah, the land of Judah, on the border with Benjamin. In addition to that, we also have a priest, the name of a priest, quite an important person in the time of Isaiah. was also named Audio, see Isaiah 8:2. So we have the different names from different places, different tribes. There's not a very strong connecting factor that we could see straight away between these different names, but we might suggest that the tribes mentioned seem to include Joseph. That is, Joseph is Manasseh and Ephraim, Joseph. And Ashur was another tribe where we found place names from, Judah and Benjamin. We also found a theme of redemption, a recurring theme of redemption in these place names. And so that is it. That's what we have. It is interesting. And the different place names in different states do have a similarity between them. There is some kind of connecting factor, some type of a characteristic that to a degree is peculiar to those areas in question. And this is a significant, everything is significant, and this too has significance. And in the biblical terms and biblical studies, the meaning of names and the association of place names is very often of great significance. Thank you very much. This is Yair Davidiy. I've been speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am, Hebrew Nations, the organization that studies the whereabouts of the lost 10 tribes, and I've been speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Thank you.